have a pre-existing condition, and my health is at grave risk with this AHCA bill that Vern voted yes on. But I'm most concerned about my daughter's pre-existing condition and her risk. She was born with a congenital heart defect, like Jimmy Kimmel's baby. She was critically ill, and her dad and I fought alongside her amazing and gutsy doctors to keep her alive. What I should not have had to be doing at this time was to fight to keep her in health insurance. My health insurance company canceled my daughter when she was 6 months old, writing that this policy is renewable at our option and we choose not to renew it. My first harsh lesson in health insurance: private plans before the ACA could not only deny people with pre-existing conditions coverage, they could cancel you as soon as you received a significant diagnosis. That is, as soon as you really needed health care. My husband's plan canceled our policy, ironically and cruelly, on Valentine's Day of all days. My daughter was 2 years old. She was scheduled for a life-necessary heart surgery in 2 months. Lesson 2. Group plans pre-ACA could insidiously segregate sick people from well people and then cancel the plan because it was incurring high costs. That is, the plan with the people who really needed care. Florida had a high-risk pool in the 80s, but that was not an option for my daughter. There was a 2-year wait to get on it, and she didn't have 2 years to wait for her surgery. Even if she had been able to be enrolled in that high-risk pool, it had low annual and lifetime caps, which would not have covered the surgery she needed to live. Lesson 3, high-risk pools do not work. The night the ACA passed, I crumpled to the floor in tears. For 24 years, I had fought with everything I had to keep my daughter in health insurance. And now, for the first time in her life, I knew she could no longer be turned away. I can't believe we're fighting this fight again. I'm tired of hearing from people in my representative's office that the bill he voted yes on will cover pre-existing conditions. It will not. Allowing insurance companies to charge those with pre-existing conditions will make it unaffordable for so many. There's no difference between an upfront denial and being offered a policy you can't pay for. As for dropping people from eligibility if they have a 60-day gap in coverage, well, people with pre-existing conditions sometimes have to have medical treatments and procedures, or they're just plain too ill to work for a little while. Allowing insurance companies to not cover essential benefits, that makes a mockery of health insurance coverage. Don't tell me that this bill will guarantee insurance coverage for my daughter if her plan doesn't cover hospitals or doctors or medicines or MRIs. The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates that 27% of adults under the age of 65, that's roughly a third of us, 52 million people, have pre-existing conditions. As for the other 2/3, they don't already, but they will. Because we will all at some point have a pre-existing condition. And when we do, we will understand why those of us who fought so hard for years before the ACA to try to access insurance and health care to keep our loved ones or ourselves alive, why we know that we need the following. We need continued access to affordable, appropriate care, whether we are on Medicaid, Medicare, private insurance, or group insurance. Yes. We need no limits on our care, either through increased premiums or denial of essential benefits or annual or lifetime caps.
Yes.
We need no discrimination or segregation of those with pre-existing conditions.
Yes.
Right. And we need Medicaid and Medicare to remain robustly available to all who need it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. The day after this bill passed, I called Vern's offices and I asked what he knew that every medical professional association, every hospital association, every patient advocacy group didn't know, because they all came out firmly against this bill. Our own local Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital took a strong stand against this bill. This is the hospital that treats every very sick child in Vern's district. and he voted against them. I'm guessing Vern Buchanan has not had to sit by his child's hospital bedside, hoping and praying with every fiber of his being that his child will just live through that night, and then the next, and then the next. All the while also fighting with every fiber of his being to keep health insurance for his child, while he received cancellation letters and denial letters. I lived this. I don't wish it on anyone. But I do wish that Vern and the other 216 members of Congress who so heartlessly voted to take health care away from so many would sit with one of those parents by their child's hospital bed and be with them when they receive those cancellation letters and denial letters that they will if this bill becomes law. I would like to think this might open their hearts. I fear, though, it would not, because the way they voted, it's clear that their tax cuts matter more to them than our children's lives.
Oh, yeah.